All right, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to the 187th District Court. These are the rules of the 187th District Courtroom. You are in a courtroom. You need to behave as though you're in a courtroom. If you behave inappropriately on this Zoom, you will be sent back to your cell. We will see you in 30 to 60 days. If you behave inappropriately on this Zoom screen and you are on bond, no matter if it's out of state, out of county, wherever you may be, your Zoom privileges will be revoked and you will be required to come down to the 187th District Court. It's located at 300 De La Rosa. You have to drive through traffic. If you're able to find a parking space, you're going to find that it's very expensive. In just one second. To all the inmates, you are not allowed to use the chat box. You are not allowed to use the internet. You are not allowed to use Facebook. And you are not excused until I tell you you are excused. So when a deputy asks, can you leave? You need to tell him the judge has not excused you. Do all the inmates understand that? Do not tell that deputy that you are done with your case until I tell you you are done with your case. To everyone, I'm going to open up the breakout rooms. When I do, it will invite you to a breakout room. Do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to a breakout room. To all defendants and those who are accused, your attorney is probably going to want to speak to a prosecutor before they speak to you. So please do not ask if you can go to a breakout room or if your name was missed, because if your attorney wants you in the breakout room, your attorney will request that you go to the breakout room. Attorneys, if your client is on bond, you have a plea bargain agreement, no matter how small that plea bargain agreement is, you need to put it in the chat box to Ferguson. She'll be listed on the screen as Ferguson Court Coordinator. This is the order in which attorneys will appear. Ignacio Barreto, Michael Goins, Nick Aguilar, Scott Hill, Rodolfo Zepeda, and James Oltersdorf. To all the defendants who are on the screen, if you did not hear your attorney's name, it's because your attorney is Zooming in another courtroom. Everyone, it's Monday. Let's keep it a nice Monday. Put some patience in your pocket and the docket will move swiftly. Everyone, please make use of the chat box. Things will flow smoothly if we're not trying to talk over each other. So to the defense attorneys, use your chat box. All right, attorneys, I'm going to need to know whether or not your client is criminal trial division or a family violence case. If you have the ability to add to your name in the box, criminal trial division or family violence, then please do that. All right, Ignacio Barretta, who is your client?
Good morning, Your Honor. My client is Faith Erin Sutherland Trevino.
Criminal trial division or family violence?
That would be criminal trial division, but it's an MTR.
All right. Do you have a copy of the motion to revoke?
I have a copy of the motion, but I don't have a copy of the probation report.
All right. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. And a prosecutor and the probation officer will meet you there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Michael Goins?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, who do you have? Thank you for changing your name. I'll send you to number 3.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Nick Aguilar?
Good morning. I have a criminal trial division, Saul Acuna, MTR.
I'll send you to number 4.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Scott Hill?
Good morning, Judge. CTD with an MTR.
What's your client's name?
Samuel Ferris. Farias.
All right, you changed everything but the name. You were so close.
I didn't think the screen was long enough for all that, Judge.
Oh, yeah, it is. All right, I'm going to send you to number 5. Rodolfo Zepeda.
Brian Seeley, Your Honor, it's a criminal trial division. We have an agreement. He just needs to show up so we can do it.
All right, is your client showing up to the court?
He was supposed to come to my office. I'm waiting for him. He might have gone to the courthouse.
All right, well, I don't have anything in my chat box showing that anyone's in the courtroom. So if you will hang tight, we'll see if your client makes his appearance.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, James Oltersdorf. Who's your client?
Terrence Scott, Your Honor. I can't find my MTR. He is on an MTR. I don't remember if it's family violence, and I've spoken to him at the jail, and I think he's incarcerated still.
All right, your client is ill.
Did you
So
say ill?
he's ill. So we're gonna bring him back on October 25th. Are you okay with October 25th?
Absolutely. Whatever date you want me back. What is, do you have any, well, I have a phone number. Is it, that's all right. I'll give his wife a call. I have.
Oops, sorry, Mr. Oltersdorf, could you unmute yourself, please?
I'm sorry. I'll be back on the 25th as you've asked. And you said Mr. Scott is ill. I'll give his wife a call and see if I can figure out anything I can do to help. So.
All right, Mr. Oltersdorf, I put some information for you in the chat box.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, Judge.
All right, thank you. You're excused unless you have something else with us.
No, ma'am. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Jeff Mullinger.
Yes, Your Honor. It's an MTR regular felony. I've conferred with your CLO. I just need to talk to.
Who's your client?
Kendrick Jamal Landry in custody.
Criminal Trial Division of Family Violence.
Criminal Trial Division.
Okay. I'll send you to breakout room number 6.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jesse Sanchez.
Yes, Judge, I'm here on Tony Kaplan, Criminal Trial Division, if I can confer.
All right, I'll send you to number 7.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Judge, I just sent you a chat.
Okay. All right, thank you. Lemire is not here. Oh, Lemire is not here. Where's Lemire?
He's in, it's Chris Lemme.
Yes. Please unmute yourself.
I'm here, Your Honor.
All right, what is your last name? Is it Lemmy or Lemire?
Lemire.
All right, Mr. Lemire, where are you currently?
At Res Caro 215 Shadywood.
Okay. All right, Mr. Lemire, how are things going so far?
Good so far.
All right, Mr. Lemire, there's some issue about you having contact with your grandmother. Are you aware of that?
She's been coming to visit me.
All right, so probation, what is the issue? If the grandmother has been coming to visit him, why are we asking for no contact?
At this time, Judge, I'm unaware of the issue with the grandmother. I need to speak to Mr. Lemire and go over the situation with him. He's scheduled to come back to me on October the 7th.
All right, so, but I'm sorry, the sound on your end is not good. So what is the issue with his grandmother?
I'm unaware of the issue with the grandmother at this time, Judge. Mr. Lemire is scheduled to come back to me on October the 7th, where we can go over the situation with him.
All right, so does anyone know? Does his grandmother not want to have contact with him? Why did I receive a report that the grandmother is not to have contact, or there's some issue with him having contact with his grandmother?
Judge,
Rebecca.
like it was prepared by the previous officer that the grandmother was requesting a no harmful or injurious contact.
Okay. All right, Mr. Lemire, you're not under oath. How often has your grandmother been visiting you?
Once a week.
All right.
She just came for my birthday.
Oh, well, happy birth month.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Mr. Lemire, here's the thing. You can have contact with your grandmother, but it has to be no harmful or injurious contact. Do you understand what that means?
I think so.
Okay, what do you think that means?
No violence and no arguing.
Yes. All right, could you unmute for me, Mr. Lemire? All right, so Mr. Lemire, I'm going to alter and amend your conditions, and it's to include no harmful or injurious contact with your grandmother. So you can have visits with her, you're right, but you're not allowed to be abusive in any way. That means in words or deeds or being physical. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, do you have any questions about anything else?
Do you know when I can get off with the monitor?
You're not there yet.
Okay.
Basically, what's going to have to happen is I'm going to have to see how you're doing before I agree to even consider that. Okay.
Okay.
Because you've been doing well, but we haven't been on this road for a while, and I don't want to do anything where you could potentially come back here because of issues. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So the GPS monitor is just a reminder for you to make sure you continue on the path that you're on. So there's to be no harmful or injurious contact with Darlene, that's Darelene, Trounson, Trounson, and her residence, 4138 Spring Branch Road. And I think that's Spring Branch, Texas, 78070. Let me make sure of that. Yes, Spring Branch, Texas, 78070. So that also means when you go to her home, you can't cause problems there. So you can't be throwing things around or damaging anything. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Is there anything else that you need from me that will be helpful to you, Mr. Lemire?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And how do you pronounce your last name? I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. Is it Lemire or Lemire?
Lemire.
Okay. All right. So what's going to happen now? I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your probation officer, and they're going to go over your new conditions with you, okay?
Okay.
All right, and the key to being successful on probation, you got to stay in contact with probation. If you have questions about anything, or if there's something you don't understand, you have to let them know, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. So if you can go to number 1, and you can be excused from there. All right, Scott Hill.
This judge just got through conferring with Marcus.
Judge,
Judge,
this client has a couple of new cases. One is a more serious case that's sealed that I reached out to the family violence prosecutor who has it to see if it's gonna go anywhere. So if we can get a short reset so that I can.
All right,
figure
how
out what
much
to do.
time are you all requesting?
A couple weeks.
Okay. All right, I'm going to set you for October 18th.
thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And Mr. Farias, I don't see him on the Zoom.
Okay, Judge, I'll visit him at jail. If I can be excused now, that'd be great.
Yes, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
To the clerks, can you please call the jail and let them know that Mr. Samuel Farias is not needed?
Yes, Judge.
And everyone, just give me a moment. All right, Amy Owen.
Sorry, Your Honor, I had two Zooms going.
No problem. Who do you have?
I have Carol Schultz. We were recalled for today. I had been conferring with Meredith McIntyre on the case, Your Honor. And Ms. Schultz is on the screen. She's Galaxy A32 5G.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 8.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And everyone, just give me a moment, please.
Judge, it's Michael Goins. I'm back from the breakout room.
All right, thank you. Yes.
I have an offer from Mr. Young, but I do not see him on the screen. I see his name, but nobody in front of the computer.
Oh, he'll be here shortly. Could the clerk see where Mr. Young is, please?
Let me call real quick, Judge.
Thank you.
They should be bringing him shortly, Judge.
All right, thank you. Everyone, just give me a moment. All right, Ignacio Beretta.
Yes, Your Honor, I needed to get back into a chat room with Hunter.
Okay.
There's a chat room currently open, but my client is sitting in there.
No. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And Hunter is in number 7, but as soon as he comes out at number 7, I'll have him go there. So if you'll just remain in this main room until he comes out.
Will do. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Mick Aguilar.
Good morning, Judge. I have a deal with Hunter concerning Saul Acuna. He was turned around. He was going to try to put Saul in my breakout room number 4.
Okay, Saul is now there.
Saul's there now?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
de inmigración. Pues como te dije, te van a, yo pienso que te van a deportar.
The judge unmuted me.
All right, we're still waiting for your client, Mr. Young, Michael Goins. We'll see what's happening with that. It's a Monday. Everyone put some patience in your pocket.
Understand, ma'am.
He is number 3. Everyone, just give me a moment.
You too.
Jeff Mulliner?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
I just need to go into a breakout room with my client, and I believe we're going to have an MTR resolved for a proposed agreed resolution subject to the court's approval.
Who is your client? Kendrick Landry?
Correct?
All right, let me see where Mr. Landry is. All right, Mr. Landry, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1 with your attorney. And Norma, can you see where Mr. Young is, please?
Yes, ma'am. You want to take them into a breakout room?
All right, Mr. Young? Mr. Young? Oh, sorry, Mr. Goins?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So there are issues with your client at the jail. I'm sure you're aware of this.
I
So
understand, Your Honor.
we can have him brought out. But you'll need to remain here. So are we really bringing him out? Is there something that's going to be accomplished here?
I will get with him offline, Your Honor, and convey him the offer.
All right. And are there issues, mental issues, or no?
Your Honor, he's competent. I don't know if there's other mental issues or not, but he is competent.
All right, so we're going to bring him back in 2 weeks.
Yes, Your Honor.
Just 1 second. Let me give a date. Let's do it on a Friday. The end of October.
The 29th.
Yes. All right, we're going to recall it on October 29th. And what we're going to do is we're going to set your case. We're going to set it for at 10:30. That way, maybe, well, I'm sorry, let's set it at 11. That way there'll be less inmates on screen.
Okay, Your Honor.
All right, we will see you then.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I'm excused.
Yes, you're excused.
You have a good day.
Thank you, you too. Rodolfo Cepeda, I know we're just waiting on your person. Jeff Mulliner.
Yes, Your Honor, conferred with the CLO about a week ago, the Assistant DA this morning, and my client just now, and all of us would be on the same page to resolve the MTR for an agreed resolution subject to your approval.
All right, so what you'll need to do is put in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson what the agreement is so that your client can fill out the necessary paperwork.
Indeed, will do.
All right, and then if you could both then go back to, well, to make it easier for you, Mr. Landry, I'm going to move you to breakout room number 5. And your attorney will go to 5 with you. Mr. Mulliner, you'll need to put that in the chat box before you go to that breakout room. And everyone just give me a brief. Mr. Cepeda, if you would like to, I give everyone till 10:30 to show up. So if you need to Zoom to another court, you can Zoom to another court and come back and we'll see if your client appears.
Yes, Your Honor. He emailed me. He wanted the ID number, so I sent it to him. Hopefully he'll get on Zoom.
Okay.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. So what is going on with your case?
Judge, subject to your approval, we have a resolution on his motion to revoke.
All right, if you'll put that in the box, in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson so she can get the appropriate paperwork to you.
Thank you, Judge. I'm just gonna leave him in number 4, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, you go ahead and chat again.
Okay. The girl that he's talking about lives over here off of Aztec Alley, right by San Luis. I think that's off of South Woman.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Jesse Sanchez?
Yes, Judge, I've conferred, we've sort of agreed to try to get Mr. Kaplan evaluated by mental health, not a psych eval, but have to figure out how to do that. I haven't had to refer anybody.
When you say mental health, do you mean mental health through?
Well, that new process that they're doing to evaluate people, they do some kind of report. I haven't.
No, are you saying that he's incompetent?
Not necessarily incompetent, but he's probably using drugs. He goes in and out of phase according to the police report. So I want to figure out.
If he's competent, then we proceed.
Right,
If you believe he was insane at the time of the offense, then we file a report. If you're looking for some type of mitigation or whatever you're doing with your case, then you would file maybe a motion to have him evaluated for those purposes. But if he's competent, then we'll have him brought out so that you can speak with him.
Yes, that's what I was going to suggest. If I can talk to him, see how he's doing now, see if I can communicate with him, see if he can assist me in his defense, and then I'll know more.
Okay. All right. We're going to have him brought out now. Ms. Ferguson, can you let them know that Mr. Kaplan can come out now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So just don't leave. And we will have your client brought out right now. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Amy Owen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
So I was in a breakout room with Meredith McIntyre and then also my client judge, and they have conveyed a new plea bargain, a substantially different plea bargain that includes a reduction. And so I was asking if we could possibly have one more reset, and I had texted Meredith in the chat to see if they would hold the offer open since this is an entirely new plea bargain, and I wanted to see if we could get a regular reset to discuss that.
All right. Is October 29th enough time for you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we will come back on October 29th. Ms. Schultz, on October 29th, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting or rejecting the state's offer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and your setting will be by Zoom.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Owen, unless you have someone else with us, you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Anna. Have a great day. Oh no, it is a Monday. Oh no.
No, but you know what? It's a Monday, but we're gonna make it a great Monday because
Yeah.
Even if you're having a horrible time on Monday, if you just smile, it becomes a great Monday.
There you go. Thank you.
All right, have a good one. All right, anyone else ready? All right, Rodolfo Zepeda, your client, Mr. Seelig, is here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, he is zooming in as we speak.
Okay. I've signed all the paperwork, Your Honor, so I don't know if it's been sent to him. Probably not, but I've signed everything.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send your client to breakout room number 1. Mrs. Zepeda, I'm going to send you to number 1. And if the clerks could go to number 1 to make sure the paperwork is completed on Mr. Seelig. And Brandon Lopez, Mr. Marshall, is that criminal trial division or family violence?
Your Honor, I believe it's criminal trial division and MTR.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And everyone, as soon as I receive the paperwork, we will go from there.
Your Honor.
Yes.
May I be in a breakout room with my client, if I may?
I'm sorry, who's your client?
Stanley Butler. And if I may be in line to speak with the state regarding his MTR.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
I believe it's family violence.
Do you want to speak with someone for probation first or your client first?
Yes, if I may, because I do need a copy of the revocation.
Sure. I'll send you to breakout room number 6. And if you could put your email address in the chat box to the CLO, she's listed as Reyes on the screen. And she will send you the motion to revoke.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll send you to number 6. All right, Jeff Mulliner, did you receive the paperwork and sign it?
I did. I don't know that my client has received it. Brandon Lopez was in the breakout room and not my client.
All right, let me find your client.
Landry?
Mr. Landry. I need you to go to a breakout room to sign your documents. I'm going to send you to number 7 with your attorney.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Judge, if I may?
Just give me one moment, please. Yes.
Yes, Judge, this is Jesse Sanchez. I was looking at my notes and Mr. Kaplan is the same person that does not want to speak at all. I have never heard his voice. He has 2 misdemeanors. I've talked to the other attorney, Mr. Zimmerman, and he told me he has the same problem. He just looks at him, never says one word.
Oh, we'll take care of that today. We'll see if we can't get him to speak today.
Okay, I'll give it a try. But it's difficult to determine exactly what his process is.
Mm-hmm. We will make it happen.
Okay.
It's Monday. It's a new day.
Judge, this is Hunter.
Yes.
Well, we'll have the rest of the week for it at least.
Yes.
In this case, I conferred with defense, and I had asked defense if we could get him evaluated while in custody, a mental health evaluation, just because of concerns that I saw in the report, and that appears to be continued concerns.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see what happens, because the jail or the deputies have already went to bring him, and we'll go from there.
Understood, Judge.
Sure.
Your Honor, if I may, Christina Mendiola with Butler.
Yes.
If someone can instruct him to join the breakout room, I was there and he didn't join me.
Mr. Butler? Oh, no. Mr. Butler wasn't sent to the breakout room. So a prosecutor was going to speak with you first, so you can confer with the prosecutor.
Okay.
All right. If you can go back to number 6.
I sure will. Thank you.
Mr. Butler, I'm going to assign you to breakout room number 6. Go there to speak with your attorney, please.
Judge, I sent you a chat.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Cordero, your attorney is not available today. Could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we're going to recall you for October 8th, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your patience. Norma, can you let them know that Mr. Cordero can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, just wait for a deputy to tap you on the shoulder, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Ferguson, we're waiting for your attorney. Mr. Butler, did you go to the breakout room? Push the space bar, it's the longest key on the keyboard, hold it down. The longest key on the keyboard, Mr. Butler. All right, just a moment. It wouldn't be a Monday without technical difficulties. Norma, can you have someone speak with help Mr. Butler, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Butler, give me a thumbs up if you've been able to speak with your attorney. Yes, you have, or no, you have. Give me a thumbs up if you've been able to speak with your attorney today. All right, so we're going to get you to a breakout room with her. Just give us a moment.
They're on their way, Judge.
Moving a little too fast. All right, they should be able to hear you right now.
All right, thank you. He
Hear
needs to go to breakout room, please. No, tell the deputy you need to go to a breakout room, Mr. Butler.
Sir?
Yes.
So I need to go to a breakout room.
No problem.
Breakout room number 6.
Oh, well, I can talk to you, Mr. West.
All right, and the parties on Saul Acuna. I signed the document, so we should be ready to proceed. All right, Norma, I think this is Mr. Kaplan who's standing there. Is that correct?
Let me check where he's at, Judge.
All right, thank you. Yes. And ask the deputy to have him unmute. Jesse Sanchez, could you come on screen, please?
Right here, sir. And they're ready for you.
What is this? Yes, Judge.
Mr. Kaplan.
This isn't right. He's not my attorney. I didn't pick you as an attorney.
Mr. Kaplan? I'm the judge in this court. My question for you is, are you hiring an attorney? Mr. Kaplan, are you hiring attorney?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Kaplan, are you hiring an attorney?
I have not hired an attorney.
Are you planning on hiring one?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Are you planning on hiring an attorney?
They said, well, one was hired for me, and I haven't even asked for an attorney. I mean, I've asked for a couple court-appointed attorney that said that one was already picked for me.
Yes, you don't get a chance to pick your court-appointed attorney. The way the system works is whoever comes up on the list, that is who your attorney will be. So here's the thing, you need to speak with your attorney. If you don't speak with your attorney, what's going to end up happening is your case is going to be moved forward, whether you speak with your attorney or not. At some point, this case is going to end up going to jury trial, whether you've spoken to your attorney or not. I'm going to give you a chance.
Hang on a minute. What am I being charged with?
Your attorney will speak to you about that. I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your attorney. Norman, can you have the deputy come back, please?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Kaplan, I'm going to send you to a breakout room so you can speak with your attorney. I want you to be able to speak with your attorney and not have me as a part of that conversation. So your attorney is Jesse Sanchez, and he wants to speak with you. So I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3, and you will speak with
I
your
did not
attorney.
ask for Jesse Sanchez as an attorney.
Well, unless you're going to hire an attorney, that is who your attorney is. So if you're not planning on hiring an attorney, that's who your attorney is, and you need to speak with him. Jesse, if you go to 3, please.
I will, Judge.
Thank you. Are the parties here on Saul Lacuna?
Mick Aguilera is, and I saw Saul on the screen a minute ago.
Who is the prosecutor on this case?
Who is Mr. Hunter? There he is.
Everyone, just give me a moment, please. The court is going to call 2021 CR 1791, State of Texas versus Saul Acuna. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hunter Morris.
For the defense?
Mick Aguilera for Saul Acuna.
And are you Saul Acuna? You need to unmute.
Yes.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Acuna, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Saul Alexander Acuna who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 1791 for the offense of evading arrest, detention with a vehicle on May 5th, 2021 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes.
State.
On or about the 22nd day of August 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Saul Alexander Acuna, did then and there have possession, use, ownership of firearms in violation of condition number 16.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State.
The state waive and abandon the remaining allegations.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Acuna, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 16, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of 16?
Yes.
Court will find violation of number 16 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Judge. I ask this court to find number 16 true, adjudicate guilty, sentence to 4 years, but suspend it and place him on probation for 4 years. 120 days in the Bexar County Jail held in abeyance. Domestic violence class with VLS. No contact order with Christian Thomas. No harmful.
Could you spell that, please?
Yes, Judge. Christian, CHRISTIAN, Thomas, THOMAS. A no harmful or injurious contact order with Erica Vasquez, Erica, ERIKA, Vasquez, VASQUEZ. A no harmful or injurious contact order with Stephanie Acuna, That's Stephanie, Stephanie, Acuna, Acuna, and a drug patch for 3 months.
Is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, subject to your approval.
Mr. Acuna, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. Mr. Acuna, what are your problems? Why are you doing horrible on probation out of this court?
I just messed up this
Okay, you need to speak up. How old are you?
18, Your Honor.
All right, you're an adult according to the law. So you need to start acting like an adult. So speak up, no more mumbling, and explain to me why you are doing horrible on this probation and why I shouldn't be done with your case and just send you to prison.
I just made a terrible decision. I just messed up.
Why are you making terrible decisions? Do you want to go to prison?
No, Your Honor.
Then why are you making terrible decisions?
I just messed up. I just want to do better.
No, everybody wants to do better when they're looking at going to prison. My question is, why were you not doing better before? This is the second motion to revoke that you've come to this court on. And you came in with the saying, oh, I'm trying to do better. I'm just doing, what I can do. You know what? Certain things I can understand, but picking up new cases is not one of them. So let's go through it. Stephanie Acuna, who is that?
My sister.
All right, so there's a no harmful or injurious contact that they're asking for, which means you did some contact to her that somebody would consider to be harmful or injurious. So how old is your sister?
About to be 17.
Why can't you get along with your sister?
We've been having problems for a very long time.
What is the problem?
She just acts very funny and very two-faced. It's really the problem.
I don't even know what that means. What do you mean she acts very funny, very two-faced? What are you talking about?
Just very.
Sorry, Judge.
Yes. What are the issues, Mr. Acuna? Because here's the thing. You have a lot of baggage. And if you don't unpack that baggage and look at it, what's going to end up happening is you're going to be back here and you're going to find yourself more likely than not potentially going to prison. And you're going to be an 18-year-old in prison. Right now, you may end up being an 18-year-old with a felony conviction. So unpack, open the suitcase, look at it. What is your issue with your sister? She's 17. What's the problem? Is she telling your parents on you what you're doing, what you're not supposed to be doing? What is the issue?
Just recently there hasn't been much. We don't talk like that. But just we don't talk like that like we used to. So there wasn't supposed to be any problems. Just that night wasn't a good day. And
why wasn't it a good day?
I mean, it was just like a stressful week.
Why was it a stressful week?
So
why is it stressful? Because here's where I am at right now. You say all of this happened because of your stressful week. You could have a stressful week this week. It's only Monday. There's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You could have another stressful week, and we're going to be right back here with you saying you had a bad week, bad decisions. So I'm trying to figure out, what is your issue with Stephanie? Does anybody know what his issue is with his sister? Because he doesn't want to tell me.
Judge, I know with contact with Saul and his mom that Stephanie has a boyfriend that's up to no good himself. And I know at one time Saul and him did not get along. But that doesn't justify the activities that taken place. But I do know that it's Stephanie's going through some growing pains herself.
I don't know why parents are allowing children to play house, but I'm just putting that out there for the public. Instead of getting a boyfriend and a girlfriend, how about going to get your education, people? Go to school. As my grandmother would always say, instead of getting a boyfriend and girlfriend, clean up the house, wash your mom's dishes. Although I know people every now have dishwashers. But Mr. Acuna, okay, what is your problem with Erica Vasquez?
That's my mom. I don't have any problems with her.
Has Child Protective Services been involved in your life?
Yes,
What was the reason they were involved in your life?
there was, I believe it's because, the case of my sister, and, also because they didn't want me to get in trouble, so they didn't want me to stay with my mom.
Do you have any children?
No,
All right, so Child Protective Services in your life tells me there were some issues with your parents. Here's the thing, we do not choose our parents. Everybody may have had a difficult childhood, but at some point in your life, it's not going to be your parents' fault, it's going to be your fault. At some point in your life, you're going to have to get your act together. That may mean saying goodbye to your mom. That may mean saying goodbye to your sister. That may mean saying goodbye to your sister's boyfriend. You understand?
yes,
What I do know is if you don't start making better decisions, you could be looking at 10 years in prison. Do you understand?
yes.
Now, are you in school? What are you doing with your life?
So I've currently enrolled in champion school. So this October, by the 27th, I should be starting my classes. But right now I'm just working and just done stuff like gotten my driver license and
Where are you working? What do you do?
I just work at a restaurant as a busboy.
All right. Do they give you free food as a part of that?
Here and there,
What type of food is served?
like enchiladas, stuff like that.
Okay, I thought you were going to say something very unique because then I would have been able to know which restaurant it is. But with enchiladas, I think that's every place in San Antonio, including Olive Garden. So, and Red Lobster. So I don't know which restaurant that will be. So,
I think it's Salona, Judge.
all right. So do you have any children?
No,
Expecting any children?
no,
All right. So I asked you that, and I'm very glad that you don't have that in your life yet, because before you have children, you need to get your life together. You understand?
yes, Your Honor.
And children will just add more stress. They're very nice. I love children, but it will add more stress, and you're not ready, obviously, to deal with that stress. Do you understand?
Yes,
All right. From here on out, every decision you make, you need to ask yourself if this could result in you going to prison. You understand?
yes, Your Honor.
If there are issues, that's what your probation officer is for. You can talk to them. They will give you whatever classes you need, whatever you need in order to be successful. Now, if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And here's the thing, tell the truth, because I will have you drug tested today. Everybody knows that, and I'm sure your attorney has probably told you that. So you need to be honest. What is going to be the results of your drug test today?
Negative.
When's the last time you used?
It's been a minute.
All right, let me explain something to you, Mr. Acuna. And Mick Aguilera knows this because I've told plenty of his clients this. When I ask people, whether or not they're going to be positive or not, because I want to see where they are in their sobriety. Some people, when I ask them that question, they're dishonest. They pray to whomever their higher power is and say, if you just let me be negative today, I promise I'll never use again. Sometimes your higher power answers and says, okay, you'll be negative. But usually in this court, I will say 99.99% of the time, the higher power answer is no, you're going to be positive because you need some help. So I'm going to ask you again, are you going to be positive? Tell the truth, shame the devil. Are you going to be positive? Your attorney will tell you, you need to tell me the truth.
Yes.
So,
All right, so what are you going to be positive for?
Just
Name it all. Don't just say just marijuana, because people love to say just marijuana or just alcohol because they figure the way the atmosphere is changing, that marijuana and alcohol is okay. But I will tell you, when you're on probation, you're not supposed to be doing marijuana or alcohol. So what are all the potential things that you're going to potentially be positive for?
for that,
So what?
for marijuana.
And what else?
That should be it.
No, you're saying that should be it, but what could it possibly be other than just marijuana?
Just marijuana.
All right, so here's the thing, Mr. Kuna. I'm going to send you for a drug test today. And if it comes out positive for more than marijuana, we're going to have an issue. So do you want to have an issue with me? Right now, the state is trying to get you some help. They're not asking for revocation. So do you want to have issues or do you want to be honest?
Be honest. Should just be that.
I'm sorry?
It should only be marijuana.
Well, you keep saying it should only be. What does that mean? Like if I drank alcohol last night, I will tell you, I may be positive for alcohol. I wouldn't say it should only be alcohol.
Yeah, it could possibly be that as well, but that'll be it.
All right, Mr. Aguilera, you want to speak to your client and find out what he could potentially be positive for?
yes, Judge, you want to put me to a breakout room? I
Right.
think those are the two for sure, but
Okay, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Mr. Kuna,
Thank you.
please be honest with your attorney because everyone here is trying to help you. And if everyone will just please be patient and we will get to your cases shortly. I do have the paperwork on Selick, that's done. And I have the paperwork on Landry. Just give us a moment. And Eduardo Jimenez.
Yes, Judge, I'm here on Roy Ferguson. I do have 2 pleas pending in the 186th, but I'm here on Roy Ferguson.
I'm sending you to breakout room number 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, could you send his client to 5 also?
All right, Mr. Ferguson, I'm sending you to 5.
If I may advise the court, Your Honor,
Who's speaking?
this is Ignacio Barreto.
Yes.
We're ready to proceed on the MTR hearing for Sutherland Trevino.
All right, as soon as I receive the paperwork from the clerks, then we'll proceed on that. Have
Thank
you
you,
and your
Your Honor.
client signed paperwork?
Not on an MTR, Your Honor.
All right, so you'll need to put in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson what the agreement is. And then
Okay.
she'll send you the appropriate paperwork. She's listed as Ferguson Court Coordinator.
Okay, actually, that's a deal I worked out with Hunter Morris. Do I just mention that to her? Or?
No, you just put in what the agreement is so she can get the appropriate paperwork for you.
Thank you, Your Honor. And
You're
who is
welcome.
that? Who is that with?
It's Ferguson. She's listed as Ferguson Coordinator.
I'll message her, Ignacio.
Huh?
I'll message her.
Thank you, Hunter.
All right, so if you go back to your breakout room, Mr. Ignacio Beretta, and go over the paperwork with your client, and then we'll take up your matter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, Alfonso Cabanas, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And while we wait for them to come back, from the breakout room, just one moment. Brandon Lopez?
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
We have an agreement on Mr. Marshall on the MTR, and I messaged Ms. Ferguson. I believe we just need the appeal.
The paperwork's coming your way. Give me just a few minutes.
No problem.
All right, and so if you will go back, Brandon, to the breakout room, I'll send you to breakout room number 1. I'm sorry, no, number 4. And I'll send your client to number 4 as well.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Mr. Marshall, if you can go to 4, please. And while I wait for them to come back on Acuna, I'm going to take up Kendrick Landry. Are the parties ready on Kendrick Landry?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, if we can just find the parties on Landry.
I know that Jeff Mulliner was having difficulties with his technical today, so I don't know if maybe he got kicked out or what, but he has been conferring and was present.
All right, Jeff Mulliner, if you can show your video, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, to the court report, are you okay with switching over to a new case and we'll come back on Acuna?
Yes, Judge.
All right, court is calling 2021 CR 0147, State of Texas versus Kendrick Jamal Landry. If I can have parties announced for the record, please, for the state.
Caitlin Wilkes for the state.
For the defense.
And Jeff Mulliner for Kendrick Jamal Landry. He's present. We're ready.
And are you Kendrick Landry? If you'll hold down.
Yes,
Are you
ma'am.
Kendrick Landry?
Don't ruin my fun, yo.
All right, Mr. Landry.
What? For real?
Because we're getting a lot of noise from your end.
We had talked the other day.
I'm going
Remember, I
to
was like,
mute
oh, you had
you
told me,
and ask you to unmute when I need you to
So I was
answer.
thinking of the worst, like,
If there's anything you need
season's
to
gonna
say,
happen. You know what I'm
just
saying?
raise your hand and I'll notice you, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Landry, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find, excuse me, that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. All right, sorry about that. Mr. Landry, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Judge.
All Are you the same Kendrick Jamal Landry who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 0147 for the offense of burglary of a habitation with intent to commit assault on June 23rd, 2021 for a period of 8 years? Is that you?
Yes, Judge.
State.
Your Honor, I couldn't hear.
Yes, state.
Oh, yes, Your Honor. The state is going to proceed on count a violation of condition number 5. In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Kendrick Jamal Landry, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of July and August 2021 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
He's gonna get my
True.
money back.
State.
The state waives and abandons the remaining allegations.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Landry, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge.
And what is the agreement?
We're asking the court to continue this defendant on deferred adjudication, but with a couple different conditions. First, we're asking for 0 tolerance probation. We're asking that the defendant obtain gainful employment within 14 days and that he does weekly reporting for 30 days.
Is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Landry, can you raise your right hand for me, please, and unmute? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand. Why are you not reporting?
Well, I lost my job because of the felony I had. My GM found out, and I did get scared, so I did not report.
All right, what have you done since you've been on probation?
So far, just work. That's about all.
All right, do you know what your conditions are?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so do you have any employment opportunities available?
I cut grass like on the side. That's about it.
All right, you need to make sure you remain in contact with probation at all times. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge.
If you're not in contact with them, what that means is nobody knows where you are, nobody knows what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're on deferred adjudication for burglary of habitation. When you're on probation, that means that there's a lack of trust, right? Because if there was trust, you wouldn't be on probation.
Yes, Judge.
So you need to make sure you report. I don't do 0 tolerance in this courtroom. I don't tell people you have 0 tolerance. We're all adults here. You know what you need to do, and you need to handle your business. And your business is to follow the conditions of your deferred adjudication. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge.
Now, are you able to Zoom?
Yes, Judge. I would have to use my father's phone, but I will be able to.
Where will you be living?
2438 Wyoming.
Get up, go to your left.
And you're going to have to do employment that requires full-time work. So if you need to get 2 jobs, 3 jobs, or whatever, you're going to have full-time employment. How old are you?
24.
All right, yes, you're going to have to get full-time employment.
Marshall?
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is finding violation of condition number 5 true. Deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include full-time employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And I know I've said that to you previously.
Yes, ma'am.
Your 100 hours of community service restitution, 40 of those hours will be deducted if you provide proof of a COVID vaccination. The court, for the record, is not requiring anyone to get the COVID vaccine. That's completely up to you. But if you do obtain the COVID vaccine, 40 hours will be deducted from your community service restitution.
Yes, ma'am.
There's going to be weekly reporting by Zoom or in person until further notice. So what that means is If you're able to report weekly by Zoom, you can do it by Zoom. If something happens with your Zoom, you're gonna have to do it in person. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And part of the weekly reporting is because you haven't reported, and part of it is a punishment.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes it's about rehabilitation. Sometimes it's a combination of rehabilitation and punishment.
Because I know the
Yes, ma'am.
magistrate judge, I had asked her why my bond.
All right, and I'm gonna want field visits
She told me that she had talked to
2 times per month until further notice.
Yes,
and that I
ma'am.
was suspected to be connected.
All right, is there anything else that you need from the court in order to be successful?
I don't know, sir. No, ma'am.
All right, from here on out, Mr. Landry, what you need to be thinking about, every decision you make, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could result in me going to prison for potentially 20 years? You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if there's nothing else for either side, we'll close the record. All right,
The state judge.
thank you. Mr. Landry, I'm going to require that you stay in the main room. Probation will be with you shortly, and I'll assign you to a breakout room as soon as probation is ready for you. So you're not done with your case yet. Do not tell a deputy that you're done. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. Wilkes. Thank you, Ms.
Welcome.
Reyes.
All right, so we're back on Mr. Acuna. Mr. Acuna, you need to show your video.
Right here.
Okay, let me see where Hunter is. All right, is there a prosecutor available to stand in for Hunter, please?
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, we're back on the record in 2021 CR 1791, and we are joined by Marcus Sanders for the state. Mr. Cunha, you're still under oath. So potentially, what are you going to test positive for?
Marijuana, possibly what's it called? Liquor, and possibly, not likely, cocaine.
Okay. You're going to have to stop using drugs. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, when's the last time you used cocaine?
I believe days ago,
I'm sorry, what?
3 days ago.
Okay. All right, so now I see part of your problem. And whatever is causing you to use drugs, whatever issues has happened with your mom or your sister in the past, you're gonna have to work on that, because otherwise you're gonna end up in prison. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, I can't order family therapy because I don't have any jurisdiction over your mom, your sister. I have no jurisdiction over what's going on in your household. This is what the court is going to do. The court's going to deny the motion. Alternate amend conditions. And counselor, I know your agreement with the state was to find him guilty. The court is not inclined to find him guilty unless there is a reason. So is there a reason other than he has not been following through on his conditions?
No, Your Honor, that was just the first choice of the probation department.
All
The
right,
second
because-
choice, their second choice was what we end up doing.
All right,
All right,
because
Mick, did y'all make any agreement regarding the other cases? Is that why?
Yes, they're all going to be TIC today because he has court on them tomorrow.
all right. So here's the issue I'm looking at. And Mr. Acuna, I want you to know where I'm coming from. And I want the state and the defense to know where I'm coming from. You're 18 years old. You probably had a horrible start in life because Child Protective Services has been in your life, which means that your parents did not do what they're supposed to do, because otherwise there would not have been a legal case. So you're 18, drug user, and you have a criminal history now. Even though this is deferred, it's showing up on your record. So if I do a felony conviction, that's just going to add to his stress and add to him potentially going extremely downhill. Because with a felony conviction, those are going to close a lot of doors. And those doors will include, if he decides to go to college, the door that's going to shut on him is any type of funding, any type of loans that he can take out for school through the government, that's going to be closed. I don't know if he's planning on going to college, but he needs to plan on either going to college or trade school or something, because otherwise, Mr. Acuna, you're going to look up, you're going to be 20 or whatever you're going to be, you're going to have some children that you're not going to be able to handle, and you're going to have a child protective services case. So is there a specific reason? I understand, and usually I don't break the agreements that the state and the defense have entered into, but if there is a specific reason why I should find him guilty.
Judge, there wasn't a specific reason. We were trying to find a middle ground between our professional beliefs. We discussed exactly what you're doing, but back toward the conviction, trying to get Mr. Acuna's attention. Hunter and I discussed the exact conversation. We had the same conversation in the breakout room together, Prosecutor Hunter and I.
Okay.
And Judge Hunter Morris.
Yes.
I noted that the underlying case here on his supervision, there was another continuous family violence case that was taken into consideration with his mother listed as the complaining witness. So it appears that there have been some allegations of violence in the past, and those continue despite his deferred supervision. And the cases that are being taken into consideration was him walking around in someone else's yard and shooting off a gun after threatening his sister. Again, those are allegations, but the plea of true here is to the possession of that firearm, which was allegedly captured on video.
Okay. All right, so then this is where we are then. If I find you guilty, Mr. Acuna, and if you are unsuccessful, then the most time that I could sentence you to prison is 4 years. With deferred adjudication, if you were unsuccessful, the most time I could sentence you to is 10 years. So here's the thing. You have to make a decision, and I'm sure your attorney has talked to you about it, whether or not you want to be on deferred adjudication, but you're going to be saddled with different things if you are on regular probation. And I understand the state's position. You've had a horrible start. And are you living with your mom?
Yes.
And is your sister living there?
Yes.
All right, and why does he have a weapon anyway? That's what I don't understand.
Judge, I can't explain it. I don't know.
And here's the thing, I don't even know if living with his mom and his sister is an appropriate place to live, but because it appears to me, if there's an issue with the sister's boyfriend, she's only 17. I guess the mom is letting everybody just run amok and do whatever they want to do. I don't see things ending well in this case. I think if he ends up being successful on deferred adjudication or successful on probation, it's going to be a miracle. Because the same issues that are in this case, and as ADA Morris stated, the issues with his mom was before this case, he still has those issues, and none of that is being solved or addressed. And he's 18. I can't say move out of, well, I could say move out of your house, but where is he going to go?
It would have to be another family member, Judge. That's all I can, it would have to be another family member, an aunt or.
All right, I do understand both of you all's positions, but it would seem to me that maybe having the full range of punishment available to the court if he is unsuccessful would be better than limiting it to 4. So what do you both the state and the defense think?
Judge, whatever it takes to get his attention. I have been attempting to get his attention since I started representing him some time ago on most, if not all, these matters. At a recent setting with him, I did offer to go to his high school GED graduation, but he didn't take me serious. But apparently he hadn't taken me serious all along. But I didn't get the invite. But you know, I try to help my folks. I try to show support.
Yeah.
And he didn't take me serious. I hope he's taking you serious today.
And Judge, if I may,
yes,
introduce an exhibit for the purposes of this hearing.
All right, any objections?
Well, if I could see it just a moment in advance, but go ahead.
Mick, I'll tell you what it is. It's the picture of the weapon with the
Oh,
magnet.
okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. No, I object, Judge. Terrible, terrible picture.
Okay.
Okay, I'll share the screen with you, Judge.
Then State's Exhibit number 1 is admitted.
you
Okay,
able
what
to-
is this a Starship?
It's an
It's
extended magazine, Judge.
All right. Mr. Kuna, what were you thinking?
Just needed it for protection.
Okay, now you're just making things up. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court's going to deny the motion, auction amend conditions. We're going to do the UA hotline. There's to be no contact with Christian Thomas, no harmful or injurious contact with Erica Vasquez, Steffi Acuna, weekly Zoom reporting. There's going to be a referral to felony drug court. You're going to be honest with them and not pretend that you don't have a drug problem. I'm going to want random field visits 3 times per month. And Rebecca, I'm going to want him put on felony drug court's radar right away.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else from either side?
Judge, the domestic violence class.
Oh, thank you. And we'll do domestic violence class.
And then, Judge, there was also a recommendation of, I hope we don't have any further issues, but they also were wanting 180 days Bexar County Jail, but held in abeyance. But
Oh no, if we come back here,
I understand.
yes.
But I just threw it out there because Mr. Morris and I did discuss it.
Okay. All right, Mr. Acuna, if you come back here, how much prison time could you potentially face?
4 to 10 years.
No, 10 years. There's no 4 to 10 years, 10 years. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you want to go to prison?
No.
Then you need to start behaving as though you do not want to go to prison. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you miss a single day of reporting, we're going to have a problem. I don't do zero tolerance. So I'm telling you, if you don't weekly report by Zoom, if there's a problem with your Zoom, you better report in person.
Okay.
If you miss one UA hotline, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. If you miss one time reporting, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. If you violate any of those no harmful or injurious contacts, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1.
Judge, before we leave, I was listening to you on a previous MTR and I thought it would be a great idea here. I don't know if Mr. Acuna has been vaccinated with the COVID vaccine, but you gave that previous person the option to get credit for community service.
Yes. All right, your community service hours. Let me see, they were set at 180 hours. I will deduct 40 of those hours if you obtain the COVID vaccine. Not forcing anyone to get the vaccine, but if you do get the vaccine, 40 hours will be deducted.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. And Mr. Landry, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1, and probation will meet you there and go over conditions.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Mr. Acuna, could you go back to 1, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Sanchez on Tony Kaplan.
Yes, Judge, I've tried talking to him. He keeps telling me he wants to plead not guilty by reason of insanity. He wants to go to the state hospital. I told him there's a process for that. He can't tell me if he's under medication. He can't tell me if he's under doctor's care. He
All
is
right.
talking, but not making any sense.
All right. And Mr. Aguilar, you can go back to number 1. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Kaplan, and we'll need an evaluation?
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second. 30 days. Hold on for just a moment. It's 30 days.
Now, will this be just a mental evaluation with the new system or just part
Yes.
of the?
No, it will be an evaluation for competency.
I
And
can
they'll
do
let
a-
us know if he has mental health issues. Yes, Ms. Ferguson?
November 3rd, Judge?
All right, we're going to come back on November 3rd. Norma, can you let them know they can take Mr. Kaplan back? He's in breakout room number 3. He's 17E.
Yes, ma'am.
And Judge, on that case, there's been an indication that the defendant believes he is not, or he was not sane at the time of the offense.
Yes.
Can we make a note in the court's file? I believe they have to evaluate them for sanity subsequent to a competency eval.
Yes.
And sometimes that gets hung up in the transition. Can we have
Yes.
him evaluated after for his sanity?
Yes.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Judge.
Ms. Ferguson, if you can make sure that they evaluated him for competency and sanity. All right, we will come back on November 3rd. You're excused, Mr. Sanchez. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Christina Mendiola.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I've spoken with the DA, and we are requesting at this time if we could have another court date, a quick reset, just to confirm and look into the allegations in the motion to revoke, and hopefully have a deal by the time we get back.
All
That's
right,
correct,
just-
Judge.
Okay. Norma, on Mr. Butler, can I have a 2-week reset, please? Is that enough time?
That'll
That should be
work.
plenty of enough time. Mhm.
The 25th, Judge?
All right, we'll come back on October 25th.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
Welcome.
good day. May I be
Thank you,
excused?
you too. Yes. Norma, can you let them know that 14A Butler can go back? Mr. Butler? We will bring you back on October 25th. All right, Alfonso Cabanas.
Hi, Judge. Good morning. I conferred with Hunter on Mr. Cuellar's case, and we have a plea offer, Judge. I believe it's going to get resolved at a misdemeanor level. I just need to confirm with my client.
All right. And where is your client?
I'm looking through the screens, Judge, to see if I see him.
He's in custody, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Norma, can you have Mr. Matthew Cuellar come back, please?
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second.
Brendan Lopez.
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
We have, I think, completed the paperwork on Mr. Marshall and just waiting for the opportunity to do the MTR.
All right, as soon as the clerks give that to me, we will take care of it.
No problem.
All right, who's the parties on Brian Seelig?
Marcus.
Cepeda, Your Honor, for Mr. Seeley.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello, court is calling 2021 CR 6600, State of Texas versus Brian Seelig. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Rodolfo Cepeda for Mr. Seeley, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Seelig?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
None.
Any objections from the defense?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Seelig, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We waive, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Seelig, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by way of indictment, you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams. That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Seelig, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. There is a $1,000 fine. The state recommends community supervision. There is no application for deferred adjudication. And there's $57 restitution for drug testing to SAPD. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver Repeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. There be 120 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand that those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea?
Yes, the state offers states Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Seelig, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right, for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we would just request that the court follow the recommendations of the attorney.
I'm sorry?
We request that you follow the agreement that we have made with the state, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Seelig.
Yes,
my job is to set conditions for you that hopefully you will be successful. So when's the last time you used drugs?
Yesterday.
All right, so what are you using?
I use meth and use marijuana.
When did you start using
When I
in
was
your
14.
life?
When I was 14.
All right, how often do you use?
Yeah, I smoke marijuana maybe every day.
All right, and how often are you using meth?
Just like casual, like parties or whatever.
All right, Mr. Seelig, you need to adjust your camera because I can't see your face.
Casually, like parties.
All right, Mr. Seelig, here's the thing. You need to be honest with me
Yes, ma'am.
because I know it's not a casual use. Because if it were a casual use, you know that you're coming to court, you would not have used.
Right.
So let's be honest with everyone, right?
Every day.
Probation and state have agreed to give you probation.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't give you the help that you need if you're not honest with me.
I understand that.
All right, so lower your camera because I'm not seeing your mouth. Okay. So how often are you using meth?
Every day.
All right. Are you employed?
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you do?
I'm a beer stocker at nights, and then during the morning, I do cook chicken for this convenience store.
Do you have any children?
Yes, Your Honor.
What are their ages?
My daughter's 11, my son's 9.
Do they live with you?
No, Your Honor.
Where are they living?
They live with the ex-in-laws.
All right, so because they're living with the ex-in-laws and not with their mother, that tells me one thing. Either their mother has passed or either she's using drugs as well. So which is it?
She's using drugs. She's incarcerated.
Okay. All right, now, Mr. Seelig, you need to get in touch and try to be clean and sober, right? I don't expect you to be clean and sober today because I haven't given you any help.
Okay.
But part of getting help for your drug addiction is you're gonna have to try.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you know, they say change people, places, and things. So here's the thing. And I don't mean, want to be mean to try to put people out of work.
Right.
Working as a bartender or whatever you're doing with alcohol, that's not good for you. Because where are you? What does your job entail? Are you at a bar and you're passing out drinks? What's going
No,
on?
it's a convenience store. I stock the beer, I stock all the groceries. A beer stocker.
Okay, so you're a beer stocker.
Yes, ma'am.
Which store is this?
It's the Exxon off of Ray Ellison in 410 on the south side.
Okay, so are you driving a truck? How are you
No.
getting beer there?
No. I don't drive beer. The beer comes. I'm just the labor, I guess, puts the beer up, stocks it up for everybody.
Ah,
Just-
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. This is what we are going to do, Mr. Seelig. The court, as previously stated, is finding there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 4 years in prison, suspended and probated for 4 years. There's a $1,000 fine that will be probated, $57 restitution for drug testing, 120 hours of community service restitution. If you obtain the COVID vaccine, the court will deduct 40 hours, but I'm not forcing you to get the COVID vaccine.
Okay.
But if you do obtain it, one, you're protecting others. And two, I will deduct 40 hours of community service restitution. I will not allow you to buy out community service hours.
Okay.
There's going to be the UA hotline. I'm going to do a referral to felony drug court. You need to be honest with them. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If not accepted into felony drug court, then I'm going to start you off with intensive outpatient treatment. But I really want you in felony drug court. It is a hard program, but if you complete it, the chances of you not using drugs again is very high. So we're going to do the UA hotline, referral to felony drug court. If not accepted in felony drug court, then intensive outpatient treatment with probation. I'm going to want parenting classes. Mr. Seelig, did you go through Child Protective Services?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so that means that you didn't complete it because otherwise your children would be with you. So I'm
Yes,
going to
ma'am.
want parenting classes, proof of employment within 15 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider,
Okay.
or with minors, or in a bar. So if you're working at a restaurant and their sole business is selling alcohol, you're not allowed to do that. You understand? So don't go looking for employment at a bar.
Yes, Your Honor.
There's going to be weekly reporting by Zoom or in person until further notice. I'm going to want field visits 3 times per month. All right, Mr. Seelig, is there anything else that you need from this court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Seelig, I'm going to show you what's entitled trial courts. Just one moment. I've already said that you're to do the UA hotline. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, with that, we're going to close the record. Mr. Seelig, from here on out, everything you do, you need to ask yourself, is this a decision that could result in me going to prison for 4 years, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. When you go to breakout room number 1, let the court coordinator know that I've emailed your conditions to her. And
Okay.
Mr. Seelig, when you're using meth and all of these drugs, they're not FDA approved. You don't know what people are putting in them. I read in the police report that people called because they were concerned because you were asleep in your car. So anytime you use drugs that are not FDA approved, there's a chance you're not going to wake up from that. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
When you start thinking about using drugs, you need to ask yourself, one, can I go to prison for this? And two, start thinking about your children. If you're not at the point where you're doing it for yourself, then do it for somebody else. All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. You're already assigned to 1. Do you see where you can go back to 1, Mr. Seelig? Just push more and it should say breakout rooms on your phone. Tap your phone.
Yes, ma'am. Go to
number 1.
So just raise your hand, chat.
All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you to number 2. Do not go to number 2 though, because I want you in number 1. I'm just going to send you to 2 so I can pop up on your screen. Then I'm going to send you to 1, okay?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Did it pop up? Okay. And then I'll send you to number 1. And Ms. Reyes, if you can go back to breakout room number 1. And Mr. Zepeda, you can go to number 1 or either you can be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did Mr. Cepeda write down everything?
I sent it to you in an email.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I covered. All right, everyone, just give me one moment, please. Everyone, just give me one moment, please. And Mr. Barreto, I do have your documents, so I'm going to take you up next, and I'll take you. All right, Sutherland Trevino.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me find Sutherland. Who's the prosecutor on Faith Sutherland Trevino?
Hunter Morris, Judge.
Okay. All right, the court is calling. Oh, I think. Okay, I was like, are you frozen? All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 0666, State of Texas versus Faith Aaron Sutherland Trevino. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Hunter Morris.
For the defense?
Ignacio Barreto.
And are you Ms. Sutherland?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection.
Ms. Sutherland Trevino, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video conference. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt or Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Faith Erin Sutherland Trevino who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 0666 for the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle on March 30th, 2021 for a period of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense. I'm sorry, state. It's Monday.
On or about the second day of July 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Faith Erin Sutherland Trevino did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State will even abandon the remaining allegations, Judge.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility, and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
Thank you, Judge. We'd ask this court to deny the MTR, continue on supervision, extend the supervision for 1 year, and transfer defendant to ISP supervision.
Is that the agreement?
Is Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Sutherland, can you raise your right hand for me, please? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand. Why are you not taking your drug test?
I had COVID symptoms and I had told my PO and I was waiting to get back from her, but I never got back from her. So she had just arrested me the day I went to go report, but I had told her that, like, there was just one day I had told her I had the money, you know, I'm feeling better if I could just go and take my drug test. And she said no, so I don't contaminate nobody.
So here's the thing. The state waived the other violations, so I'm not considering them. But you have a violation of number 2 on July 2nd, 2021, which is not taking a drug test. June 25th, 2021, which is not taking a drug test. June 10th, 2021, which is not taking a drug test. May 27th, 2021, using marijuana. April 14th, 2021, using marijuana. August 11, 2021, not allowing probation to enter your home. August 27, 2021, not attending the theft course. August 11, 2021, not complying with your weekly appointments. And July 28, 2021, not complying with intensive outpatient treatment. So yes, some people may have COVID. I think people are using COVID for everything, but here's the issue. You haven't had COVID that long if you ever did. And if you had COVID, all you had to do was provide proof of probation and you didn't. So again, we're back to this point. Do you even want to be on probation or do you just want to go to the state jail facility and be done?
No, I can do probation.
Well, no, you haven't shown me that you can do probation. So my question to you is, do you want to just go to the state jail facility and be done? Or do you want to complete this probation?
I want to complete the probation.
So what are you going to do to make sure that you complete this probation?
I'm going to get right, do what I have to do so I won't end up in jail.
Okay, I have a question. I can
All right. Court will deny the motion, alternate amend conditions to extend for 1 year. There is going to be weekly reporting until further notice.
I have that's an exam that I was on to raise probation for.
And that will be by Zoom or in person. You to complete those 120 hours of community service restitution. However, the court will allow you to deduct 40 hours if you obtain the COVID vaccine, not forcing anyone to get the COVID vaccine, but if you do obtain the COVID vaccine, then 40 hours will be deducted. Court will not allow you to buy out your community supervision. And I'm sorry, State, what else were you all asking for or agreed to?
Sorry, Judge?
Was there anything else that you all asked for or agreed to?
We're following the recommendation of probation in this case. They had asked for zero tolerance, but I know this court's position is zero tolerance.
All right, and they're going to be field visits. And you know what? I had asked for field visits 2 times per month. They're going to be field visits 3 times per month. And if probation is not allowed in your house for any one of those field visits, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you miss Zoom reporting or reporting in person, a motion to revoke will be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state judge.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, with that, we will close the record. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1, probation. We'll go over conditions. Mr. Barreto, you can go to number 1 or either you can be excused.
I'd like to
Can
be.
we read 6.27?
Okay.
No.
And Ms. Sutherland, you need to go to breakout room number 1, and everyone just give me a moment, please.
Judge, I don't know if you have a moment.
Just give me a moment.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Cabanas.
Hi, Judge. Good morning. I was just waiting for Mr. Matthew Cuellar to be brought in by the jail.
No, he is on bond. That is what
Okay.
Ms. Ferguson has told me.
Perfect.
So where is Mr. Cuellar?
I don't have the slightest idea, Your Honor.
Okay, is there a prosecutor available?
I was conferring with Hunter on this case, Judge.
All right, any prosecutor available? The defendant is a no-show.
Yes, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 7442, State of Texas versus Matthew Cuellar. Could I have parties announced for the record, please? For the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Alfonso Cabañas for the defendant, Matthew Cuellar.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
None from defense counsel, Judge.
All right, here's the history of this case. This case was set on September 30th, 2021. It was recalled for October 1st, 2021 at 9 a.m. because the defendant was a no-show. And the court on September 30th gave the defendant till 3:01 p.m. to appear, and the defendant did not. On October 1st, this hearing was set at 9 a.m. The defendant did not appear and was a no-show as of 4:08 p.m. For the record, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. The defendant has not been on the Zoom screen. To the court, is there a Matthew Cuellar in the courtroom?
There is not, Your Honor.
And has there been a Matthew Cuellar in the courtroom at all today?
No, ma'am.
Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
No, I have not, Your Honor.
State.
State would ask the court to forfeit the bond and issue a warrant.
All right, that'll be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If you have any contact with your client and your client presents himself in person to the court will reconsider.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You and your
Thank you.
client, you are excused.
Thank
Thanks.
you, Judge.
Have a great rest of your day.
Hey, Alfonso,
Oops, Alfonso?
Yes, sir.
before you leave, the offer expires on the 15th.
Okay, thank you, Hunter.
You're
All
welcome.
right, thank you. Have a great rest of your day. Brandon Lopez.
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
I think the paperwork's completed on Mr. Marshall on the MTR.
All right, I don't have any paperwork. Let me send you, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2, you and your client, so we can find out where the paperwork is.
But
And
it came back complete on my email as completed. We
Okay.
both signed it.
all right, if you
It
all can go
should
to-
just be for the Zoom consent, Judge.
It's-
All right.
Yeah.
If you guys can go to breakout room number 1. I'm sorry, not number 1, number 2, and we'll see where the paperwork is because I don't have it.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, maybe so. Eduardo Jimenez. All right, Brandon. If you can go to number 2, have your client to come out of that. Don't go to number 2, Mr. Marshall. We found the paperwork. All right, who is the prosecutor? Meredith? All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 8571, State of Texas versus Raydon Marshall. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
for the defense?
Brandon Lopez for Mr. Marshall.
And are you Mr. Marshall? You need to unmute. Just hold down the space bar.
Yes.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Off the record for a moment. Ms. Reyes, did you receive the documents on Sutherland?
I did, but she got disconnected or somehow left, so.
All right, I've sent you to number 2
Okay,
because I see she's in 2.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We're back on the record. Mr. Marshall, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Raydon Marshall who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 8571 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on September 3rd, 2020 for a period of 6 years?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
In Harris County, Texas, the defendant, Raydon Marshall, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of May, June, July, and August 2021 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State?
State will waive the remaining violation.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Marshall, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community, well, you're not eligible for community supervision, but sentence you up to 20 years in the prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
As Judge, we're asking the court to deny the motion, continue him on deferred adjudication, alter and amend his condition to include the dual diagnosis residential facility.
Is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, what are the issues with Mr. Marshall?
Are you asking?
Yes,
Judge?
anyone, because I'm see you all are asking for the dual diagnosis facility. Does he have a diagnosis? Do we know?
Judge, my understanding there are some mental health issues. He was sent to Harris County and he was supposed to be living with his mother, but I guess ended up homeless. And there were some issues with his ability to report there. And that's what triggered the MTR.
Okay. All right,
And he
Mr.
was supervised in Harris County as part of the mentally impaired unit, but had issues, I guess, staying where he was supposed to stay, and then was supposed to be at his mother's, and then he couldn't be found. Hence why we're here now.
All right, Mr. Marshall, how old are you?
20.
I'm sorry, how old?
20.
All right. How far did you go in school?
10th grade.
All right. Is there a reason why you didn't finish?
I had to help my mom with bills.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Marshall, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to follow your agreement. I'm going to deny the motion, alternate amend to include the dual diagnosis facility. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this on the docket. And Mr. Lopez, it will be a phantom setting, because if we actually place it on the docket, then he won't be transferred, because it is see that he has a pending hearing. So, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Marshall, could I have a 30-day reset?
Yes, ma'am.
Just for an update.
Oh, it would be November 3rd.
All right, so we're going to be back on November 3rd, Mr. Marshall. If you haven't been transferred by that point in time, then we'll see what else we can craft. You understand?
When you say transfer, what you mean?
That means that they're asking you to be considered for the dual diagnosis facility. So we're going to see, once they evaluate you, if they think that an inpatient placement is for you, or if they think an outpatient placement for you. But they have to do the evaluation first, and there are clearances that you have to pass for it to go to the next step. So the first step, they'll evaluate you. And that evaluation is whether or not you're medically cleared to be in either of the programs. And then once we're determined that you're medically cleared, then there's a next step for another evaluation to see what would be appropriate for you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So here's the thing. When someone comes to evaluate you, you need to make sure you're available, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you look, sometimes I know inmates will look and they'll say, I don't see where my case is set for November 3rd, like the judge said. For you, we have it on our end, November 3rd. Your attorney knows it's November 3rd, and the state knows it's November 3rd. But it's not going to appear in the system, because if we put it in the system, they won't evaluate you, because they'll say you have a pending case. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So we're going to bring you back on the November 3rd to see exactly where we are.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Is there anything else from either side?
There you go.
All right. So, Mr. Marshall, I've already, Brendan, if you could go to breakout room with him, but I've already sent an email to the to the probation officer. If you could let her know she has an email of what's happening. So if you all can go to breakout room number 2, please.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And Mr. Marshall, you'll just see 2 on your screen and go there. All right, Eduardo Jimenez.
Yes, Your Honor. I had Roy Ferguson, but I haven't spoken to a prosecutor yet on that case.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, anyone else who's here? Who is here from the Texas crime scene cleaners or something?
Judge, can I talk to you for just a second, Judge?
All right, everyone,
I'm
just give me a moment.
going to walk back there for just a moment.
Okay. Mr. Woodard, who do you have?
Judge, I have Christopher Lopez. He's a
All right.
criminal trial division. It's a drug case.
I'll see you to breakout room number 4. And everyone, just give me a moment, please. All right, we're back. The person who's listed and who's in the white shirt, what is your name?
Fabian Rocha.
All right. What, do you work at Texas Crime Scene Clean or something?
That's one of the companies that we just opened up. Yes, ma'am. I was just talking to one of my employees and letting them know what they needed to do once we arrive at the scene.
Okay. I'm sorry, just 1 second. All right, Mr. Rocha, your attorney is not available, so we're going to reset your case.
I'm here. I was told that I can do it via landline.
All right, Ms. Rocha?
Yes.
No, that was Miss Bustamante. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Miss. Are you Miss Bustamante?
Yes.
All right, Miss Bustamante. Are you a complainant on one of the defendant's other cases?
No. I don't believe so, but you can enlighten me maybe.
No, I'm just wondering, because if that's so, we need to get a reset. Because I need to have, I need to do some research on that. Mr.
What it would be for, I don't know.
Mr. Rocha?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this attorney a complainant on any of your cases?
A complainant? What does that mean?
It means someone who's accusing you of something.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We are going to do a short reset, and we're going to come back on Friday, and we're going to find out what's going on here. To the attorney that's by landline, will you be available on Friday?
Hopefully. I'm just waiting to be discharged. I don't know when that will be, but hopefully.
All right. I hope you get better. We're going to recall this on October 8th at 9 a.m.
Okay, and then you are going to research the complainant, right?
Well, we'll try to figure out what's going on.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So we'll see you back on October 8th, Mr. Rocha.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
I think Ms. Bustamante still had something that she wanted to tell you.
No, she's disconnected.
She had taken the wrong pills and the wrong.
No. Here's the thing. If somebody was going to be Mr. Rocha, this is the rules of the 187 District Court. If someone's going to speak about someone, I don't care if it's a defense attorney, prosecutor, court reporter, myself, probation, I require the other party to be present. So I don't allow people to speak ill of others when they're not present to address that.
Yes, ma'am. No, I understand. They're just holding her.
Yes, so I'll see you October 8th.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Ferguson, Mr. Jimenez.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Judge.
What is happening with Mr. Ferguson?
Yes, Judge. I conferred with Marcus, and we have one offer for time and one potential offer for deferred adjudication, but I have to proffer some more evidence on my side in order to qualify for the deferred adjudication offer. Meaning I need to get a hold of basically his mental health record. And so I'm asking the court for more time to do that so that we can get the very best offer possible.
All right, we're going to recall this on October 29th.
Okay, Judge, thank you very much. All right.
All right, Mr. Ferguson, we're going to call you back on October 29th. If you have that information for your attorney, you need to make sure you get it to him, okay?
Yes, ma'am, will do.
All right, thank you. See you all then.
Thank you, Judge.
Welcome. All right, does anyone know what is happening with David Woodard and his client? I see they're in the breakout room.
I just made him an offer and I assigned his client so they could talk about it.
Okay, awesome. And then the other person we need is, that's done. Norma, what date do we have on Mr. Kaplan?
Give me 1 second, Judge. Let me. November 3rd.
Okay, thank you. And to the court reporter, Armenia. Hi, we have one final case to address, and that's with David Woodard. I know it's after 12, but do you mind if we continue because it will be the last case? Otherwise, we'll have to come back in the afternoon.
Oh, no, of course, Judge, I'm here.
All right, thank you. So everyone, just give me a moment. All right, and Caitlin, I believe that's the last case for family violence. So you're excused unless you have something else.
No, Your Honor. Thank you. I'm going to get with my people on my end on that case issue just to see what we need to do, and I'll get back with the court on the date that it's been reset.
All right, thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Bye-bye. All right, David Woodard.
Judge, I've conferred with Hunter and relayed the offer to my client, and I think we have an agreement. I don't know if we're able to do it this morning or if you want me to come back this afternoon.
Oh, we can get her done today.
That's fine. I just need Hunter. I let Hunter know that I would need paperwork from him.
Already getting it ready.
Awesome. And then your client will remain in number 4 and we'll take up that matter.
Okay. Thanks, Judge. I'll sit tight.
All right, thank you. David Woodard, do you need to be in a breakout room with your client?
Yes, Judge, I've signed the paperwork and I just need to go over with him.
Oh, no, you're still in your same breakout room, so you can go back to that room. And it's breakout room number 4. Do you see it, David?
I do.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, David, have you finished with all of your client's paperwork?
I have, Judge.
Okay, as soon as he's sworn in, then we'll take up the matter. All right, who are the parties on Lopez?
Hunter Morse, Judge.
The DA, you're your attorney, your DA.
All right, David Woodard. Okay, they're not ready. They're back in the breakout room, so we shall see. The 15-minute time frame is turning into much longer. But we won't have to come back this afternoon. All right, do we have all the paperwork done, Mr. Woodard?
Yes, Judge, we should, and Chris has been sworn in.
All right, court, then we're gonna go on the record. Court is calling 2021 CR 8071, State of Texas versus Christopher Anthony Lopez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? For the defense?
David Andre Woodard for Mr. Lopez.
And are you Christopher Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lopez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Defense, I'm showing you that what's entitled Acknowledgement of Discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Lopez, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, on your indictment, is there an enhancement paragraph?
No, there's just count 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, the state would waive count 1 and 3 and proceed on count 2 possession, Judge.
So my attorney told me straight
Any
up.
objection?
No, Your Honor.
Tell you straight up because
Mr. Lopez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with in count 2 is possession of a controlled substance, felony group 1, 4 to 200 grams. It's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement? But if the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is, Judge.
Mr. Lopez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, state is proceeding on count 2. They're asking your punishment be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There's a $0 fine. There are no applications. Concurrent with 2019 CR 10396 and restitution of $57 for laboratory testing. Did you understand that the court does not have jurisdiction to force parole to run this case concurrent? Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to continue with this plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver Repeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence? Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you understand that by signing that, you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense in count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea.
State offers states one attachments, Judge.
Any objections?
No objections, Judge.
Mr. Lopez, I'm showing you what's entitled Defend Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you
Yes, Your
electronically
Honor.
sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right, for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We're just asking the court to follow the agreement.
All right, then the court will, as previously stated, find you guilty of count 2, sentence you to 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Give you credit for any time served. This will rank concurrent with 2019 CR 10396. There is to be restitution of $57 to SAPD for laboratory testing. Is there anything else with regard to sentencing from either side?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Lopez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Lopez, how old are you?
2024 in here.
All right, so here's the thing, Mr. Lopez. If you don't
Yes, Your
change
Honor.
your ways, you're gonna be in and out of prison, in and out of jails. You're gonna wake up, you're gonna find half of your life has passed you by. Because when you're young, you think time passes slowly, but really it passes quickly. Because you're saying you just saw your birthday at the Bexar County Jail.
Yes,
So if you have a drug or alcohol problem, there's plenty of
Yes, Your
places
Honor.
to help you with that, okay?
Okay.
All right, was that neck tattoo painful?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you never think to stop when it starts hurting? Or you just say, I'm in with it, might as well finish it?
Might as well finish it.
Okay. All right, good luck to with you, Mr. Lopez. Take care of
Okay.
yourself, all right?
You too. You too, Your
Thank
Honor.
you. Norma, you let them know that 16B can go back.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck, Chris.
Okay,
Maybe
you too.
excused, Judge?
Yes, you're excused.
Thanks, Hunter.
All right, and
Yes, sir.
everyone, that is thank you, Mr. Woodard, and everyone, that is our day for today. Of course, I'll be here till 5, but see you guys tomorrow at 9. Where's Marcus? Is he out? His screen is black, so I think that means he's away from his desk. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your day. See everyone tomorrow at 9. I'm going to sign off.